GM. Crazy. Week 9 slate. GPP bros, assemble. Let's do this.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic shockitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go.
I got auto match with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, coach 5 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
All right. How are we doing? I hope no one has fallen too in love with their lineups before this slate gets flipped on its head here in potentially less than an hour. Although I feel like most of the crazy and active news is in the later slate with this 49ers and Cardinals game. Lots of moving pieces going on over there. It sounds like Christian McCaffrey is going to play. It sounds like James Robinson isn't going to play. So these are kind of some interesting situations. So I think we're going to see a lot of projection movement and ownership movement from where it's at now. So I'm trying to proceed with caution as far as getting a feel for builds, but not falling in love yet. So how are we doing? Yeah, Evan says McCoy. Basically, the read I got from reading up on stuff is I feel like the Cardinals guys, Nuke and Kyler, aren't going to play. That's the vibe I'm getting. And then I feel like all of the 49ers guys are going to play, but they're all going to be limited in some capacity. It seems like Debo's calf is a real issue. Kittle back on a snap count. Wilson back on a snap count. Eli Mitchell dealing with the rib stuff. So I don't know. Some of those healthy pieces in that game are starting to look very, very interesting to me. I worry a little bit about Rondell Moore getting steamed. Basically, all the GPP shows I listened to this week were mentioning him. He's cheap. It makes a ton of sense if Kyler's out, and that, Colt McCoy checking down, using him as a yards after catch guy. So I get it. We all love Rondell. I'm a little worried about it. I think Christian Kirk is my GPP bro play there. He's had the better role all year. You can make arguments that, Rondell Moore is a better stylistic fit for what they're going to do with Colt McCoy, the short, quick hitters, yada, yada. But if he's getting steamed and no one's going to play Christian Kirk without AJ Green, without DeAndre Hopkins, that's pretty interesting to me. And then Brandon Ayuk, I think on the other side is really interesting. I mean, he's basically the only fully healthy guy and seems to be slightly out of the Shanahan doghouse now, and he is trending in the right direction. So I like those guys. The nice thing too is there's a decent amount of options in that 4 p.m. slate where you can have some outs. I think Mecole Hardman is also a decent salary relief option who hasn't really gotten steamed at all this week. So I think you can set up some of those minis, and then depending on how inactive shake out, you can react to that. Holy cow, Saga Pants. Yeah, Zay Jones 2 Galaxy Braid. Yes. I think Zay Jones is 2 Galaxy Braid. Yeah. He was not in my player pool. I don't even think he made my sheet. I think I have 40 some wide receivers pasted in my sheet, and I did not have any Zay Jones. But in the Millie Maker, in a GPP, I mean, why not? Why not? Charger stack for all the money. Yeah, I don't hate it. Justin Herbert isn't in my quarterback pool for this week, but I don't mind that direction with how popular Eckler is going to be. I think Mike Williams looks like one of the best wide receiver GPP plays. Keenan Allen, I think his ownership's going to be in check. So if you wanted to do kind of like a premium double, but my thought would just be I'd rather play Hurts and kind of get access to that insane ceiling, because I do think he has a higher ceiling than Hurts, and then play Mike Williams as a one-off bring back is kind of how I would prefer to play it. Could you rank Booker, Mitchell, and Gaskin? I assume you mean as GPP plays. In a vacuum, I think Gaskin is the best GPP play, followed by Booker. I guess they're pretty close, and I think their ownership is going to be similar. I'm kind of spooked off by Eli Mitchell. Basically, Shanahan earlier in the week had said Jeff Wilson Jr. was only going to be activated if Mitchell was kind of looking shaky. So to me, that is more of a sign that this could be a true kind of split backfield. So I'm kind of off Eli Mitchell, especially for DFS. And then, if you're in your season long, I mean, Godspeed. Let's see here. Nick says, I haven't built a single lineup yet. Just thinking through core plays, Jefferson, Hollywood, Edmonds, and Mike Williams are some guys I'm really locked in on. Yeah, we're in lockstep. I like all of those guys. And we can go check out the Sims here because I believe those guys were popping in the Sims last I checked as well. I still like that Minnesota and Baltimore game, and I do like those pieces. I'll toss Mark Andrews in that game as well. You mentioned Edmonds. He looks good to me. And I think similar thesis to the Rondell stuff where, he's going to probably be utilized more in this game than he might otherwise would be. So yeah, I like those guys. What's the hat? California, here we come. So maybe that is why we're on, Chargers GPPs. I found this in I think a lost and found when I was in high school, and I'm still rocking it. Is CMC in? I think he's going to play. The CMC stuff is weird because traditionally when he's come back from injury, he just, snaps right into a full workload. But all the reports this time around make it seem like he's truly going to be limited. I know ETR updated their projections. They have him with a limited workload. So he's not going to project well at 8,000 right now. I can't tell anyone that Christian McCaffrey is a bad play. I mean, we've seen these situations before I even know. I think I remember an Austin Eckler one last year where everyone was worried about him having a full workload, and then he just comes in and plays every snap. That is certainly within the realm of possibility. It seems weird considering Christian McCaffrey had an initial setback in his recovery that if he was active, that they wouldn't feel comfortable going to him 100%. So probably a pretty good risk reward proposition for GPPs. I just like a few other spots better. Like I do think Dalvin Cook is going to be pretty low owned for 300 less. And I don't really have any concerns about him being on account, but I don't know. The more I talk it out, the more I think I should probably consider McCaffrey a little more. The other problem is I just don't like that game. That game has a really low total. I believe Thorman had that as one of his pace down spots of just like a slow pace slog. So that's the other reason why it's a little harder to get excited about that. How do we feel about Aaron Jones seeing a similar projection to Zeke at huge ownership discount? Yeah, Aaron Jones is another tricky one. He doesn't project well at 7,200. And early in the week, I was thinking, the Mahomes doubles with the Jones bring back were looking pretty nice. I think there is a pretty wide range of outcomes for Aaron Jones and his usage here. We don't really know if Jordan Love is going to be the kind of guy who wants to, check down a bunch to Aaron Jones in this spot. Like I'm honestly getting vibes that they could run the ball a ton with AJ Dillon just to try to kind of minimize what Jordan Love has to do. So again, another one of those plays that I'm not on right now. I am going to roll out a Mahomes double stack, but I think I'm going to just do it with no bring back. But I don't mind the Aaron Jones thought. And if you want to play that game as a shootout, I do think Aaron Jones makes a bit of sense. Joshua, can you talk Daniel Jones? Every QB that plays the Raiders has been top 12, most of the top 10. I think Daniel Jones looks good. He, I was running the ceiling optimals and he was showing up in that player pool. I think at 5,600, he's one of the better plays. I think, Tua in that range looks similar. I think Carr in that range. And I don't think he's going to be that popular because I feel like people will just go down to Love or Tyrod if they want to make that kind of play. And I do think Jones and Carr are going to go a bit overlooked. I was messing with just seeing what some Daniel Jones stuff would look like. I guess I'd probably skinny stack him with Kadarius Toney, and then I guess you're bringing it back with with a chalky Waller. The problem is those other pieces in that game, like unless you do want to Galbrain, Kenny Golladay or something, or Bryan Edwards, it's going to be fairly popular. Kadarius Toney, I thought people were going to be scared off of Kadarius Toney just because he's been so volatile and, he's prone to punching people and getting injured in the first quarter and all this stuff. I thought he would fall under the radar, but his ownership has just held steady all week. And so he's not as sneaky as I would have hoped. Let me get my camera going here. Edmonds projections with Nuke and Kyler out. Yeah, I don't think he's already projecting decently as is. And I think he probably does see a couple more targets when those guys officially, or if they officially get ruled out. Your steam was steamed. That's what happens. I actually haven't. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what guys I feel like have been getting steamed pretty hard this week that started low. I mean, Kadarius Toney is definitely one of them who earlier in the week looked like a really nice GPP option. I mean, a lot of the chalk has held. T. Higgins is going to be very popular. Amari Cooper is going to be popular. Jarvis Landry is going to be popular. I guess the steam has probably come on the Dolphins. Once Parker was ruled out, now we saw Gesicki and Waddle really start to come up. Christopher says, Pete goes into the sauna when the slate starts, so it's the only steam he has to deal with for an hour or two. No, man, I got to deal with the steam before lock, and I go deal with the steam on my own terms after lock. I don't know if I'm going to make it over to the sauna today. I went yesterday and the day before that. Let's see here. I can't do this right now. I love the sauna. I already said I'm going to send you guys the peer-reviewed studies of why the sauna is preferable. The steam room is gross and it doesn't have as many of the health benefits. Okay, Chubb going to get up to 20%. That's a good one. Yeah, he's definitely a guy who has gotten steamed a bit. The thing with running back this week up at the top end is, again, the ownership looks really flat after Kamara, Elliott, and Eckler. And so there's this group, right, of Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, even Gaskin and Booker, and even Patterson. I'm seeing them all projected for 12 to 15%. Now a couple of those guys are going to get squeezed. And I do think Chubb is going to be probably the highest of those guys. I would assume Chubb and Gaskin, and I would say probably Jacobs, Mixon, and Booker probably come in sub 10%. Chubb is going to be fairly popular. He's hard to get away from, especially if you're messing around with kind of some Bengals stacks. I like messing around with that game without the quarterback. Like if you want to do a Tyrod or a Jalen Hurts skinny or a Daniel Jones skinny, and then play like Nick Chubb and two Bengals pass catchers, that stuff looked pretty interesting to me. That's exactly what I was just describing. I was just describing that not everyone can get to 20%. I feel pretty confident that Zeke and Eckler are going to be over 20%. I think Kamara will be just a smidge under that, and I could see in small field Chubb getting steamed up to 20%. All right, let's check out what the Sims are saying. Our guiding light, our sweet, sweet, precious simulations. Go to classic DraftKings.com, main, run the Sims. Let's do it. I mean, is it finally going to be T. Higgins week? The field wants it to be T. Higgins week. He's going to be incredibly popular. I think rightfully so, but it's the same story every week. And now all of a sudden, Jamar Chase looks good again. They are released, David. They are released. So, we definitely see the field playing these top guys similar to their opto rate. Landry projecting very well, Hunter Renfrow projecting well, but they're going to be chalky. I think what gets interesting is when we get down into these Ravens guys, we see Andrews showing up in the optimal lineup 17% of the time, Marquise Brown 16%. I think it's fair to say both of those guys are going to come in underneath that. We talked about Chase Edmonds earlier. He's projecting really well here at 5,300. Justin Jefferson, a tale as old as time. Him getting underplayed relative to his projection. You can see Austin Eckler and Gaskin here getting played and utilized too much relative to how much they're showing up in the Sims. Someone asked about Aaron Jones a few minutes ago. There's your Aaron Jones there. I do think that looks pretty nice there. Projected own at about 5%, coming in at 12.5%. You see Zeke being way too popular. He's probably, one of the worst plays just based on ownership. And I feel like the leverage spots in that game are just really nice. With Zeke and Amari Cooper catching so much ownership, going to CeeDee Lamb, going to Schultz, and then you have both of the Broncos guys, Judy and Sutton, as kind of leverage on the Akui Bunum chalk. So I do think, I think that looks nice. I think a lot of lineups will have Zeke, Amari, and Akui Bunum in them, and those other options look pretty good. I mentioned the Chiefs stack earlier. I think Tyreek Hill will be incredibly popular. I could see him and Diggs coming in similar, but I don't think people want to play Travis Kelce. So that looks pretty nice to me. We mentioned Jamar Chase. We mentioned Dalvin Cook, Rondale Moore. So some nice look at the Sims here. Let's see what some of these lineups look like. Let's go over to the the optimizer and see what's popping in the optimizer right now. Let's see. We did just get a tweet from Schefter. Dolphins quarterback Tua has a small fracture in the middle of his finger, his throwing hand, that has not recovered enough to allow him to start today's game. Ooh, boy. All right. So Jacoby Brissett starting at quarterback for the Dolphins, which is pretty interesting as far as what that does to the skill position ownership there. I wonder if that will crater a bit. Also, I think I have a few season-long spots where we are left holding the bag on Tua, which isn't great. I need to check in on that. So yeah, Jacoby Brissett, I would have to go back and look at some of those splits. I feel like Gesicki and Waddle will still project decently. But it does probably cap the upside a little bit there. Ahmed season. That's our takeaway on Brissett. How about Patrick Laird's season, bud? Let's run the optimals here. This is what I was saying. I mean, it's not even 11:30 yet, and we're going to have a few of these things that are going to come down the pipeline and really change projections. I like looking at these optimals just to see, who's popping up that might be under the radar a little bit. We mentioned Justin Jefferson. Seeing him pop up in these optimal lineups is interesting. There's my guy, Christian Kirk. I love seeing him pop up here. I really don't think anyone's going to play Christian Kirk. I think people want to play Rondale Moore. I get it. But Christian Kirk looks pretty nice to me there. Seeing a lot of Josh Allen, a lot of Lamar Jackson. We got to get Tua out of here. We'll get that updated shortly. Seeing earlier in the week, we were seeing a decent amount of 2 tight end lineups. I'm not seeing those as much now. We're getting a lot more wide receiver in the flex. Here's one lineup that has 3 running backs. Gaskin, Edmonds, and Zeke. I will just say we can't play the Kansas City Chiefs defense this week in tournaments. It's too gross. They're going to be 30% owned. Just find another defense and don't mess around with the Chiefs. Yeah, we do see a little Javonte in here. He hasn't been on my radar just because I like Chase Edmonds and I like Zach Moss in that range. I also think we have to consider Carlos Hyde. I know. Just hear me out. I think we have to consider Carlos Hyde if James Robinson is out, which it sounds like he will be. I think most of the hand builders will never want to play, a Carlos Hyde against, a Bills stack or even as a bring back. But man, what did he have? 12 targets the other week when James Robinson left. So to me, that play, it's similar to the Michael Carter play last week, where you get kind of excited about just the amount of pass volume he could get in the form of checkdowns in a negative game script. Obviously, he has far less juice, far less in the tank than Michael Carter, but I don't know. If I was looking at bringbacks for my Josh Allen stacks, and I was looking pretty closely at both Dan Arnold and Carlos Hyde. And I don't think anyone's going to play Carlos Hyde. So allow me this safe space to galaxy brain my bringbacks here. The slate, it hasn't quite been flipped on its head. It's teetering. The slate is wobbling back and forth, and we're waiting for that final piece to really flip it. Yeah, Drico gets it. Drico gets it. If you can't just get a little excited to play Carlos Hyde, I mean, you probably need to seek out therapy. Let's see here. I'm going to check in on a few things. I need to hear your guys' opinion on what to do with some of my owners club lineups, because I don't necessarily know how to handle my Jets guys who absolutely went off, as did the Colts running backs. We were talking about this in the Discord. So obviously, for those of you guys don't know, with the owners club, you get to bank the Thursday points. You get to set your lineups knowing that those guys are what they've already done. And so we can go over here and see what they did on Thursday night. It was just insane scoring here for these position groups. So we had Indianapolis running back put up 48.8 points, monster score. We saw Jets quarterback, which is hilarious, 41.28, another monster score. And then New York Jets wide receiver, 38.22. So a lot of teams, can start out with a Jet stack and Colts running back and be so far ahead of the field. And so then you're really having to ask yourself, do I even want to try to go up against those lineups in the main event? Do I want to try to push them into the side hustle and try to avoid those? For me, and I know I saw Chris G in the chat as well, we want to win that main event live final seat. So, I think I'm going to head into the belly of the beast, try to compete with some of these teams. So in this one, I am putting in the Jets and my Colts, but seeing if I can somehow outscore the Jets wide receivers with these Bengals guys. So that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about. Is probably slightly negative EV, just knowing relative to putting this in another contest with less competition. But I feel like gambling. I feel like trying to take a shot at winning down here, similarly to using my Jets, but just seeing if I can somehow compete against these other super teams there. So it's gonna be tough sledding this week in the main event. Am rolling out a Bills double stack here, which I think sets up nicely. And my side hustles, I'm just running pure stacks. Cowboys stack, Chargers stack. This one I am banking the Colts points because Wentz had a really nice thing, and these are just getting down into my random card territories. Low ball is pretty fun because you can get the Jets defense 1-pointer there. Having the low ball element really does make it great because there's legit utility for all of your shitty cards here. Yeah, Colts RB and Jets going to be in so many side hustles, throw them in the main. So is this now the leveling thing where everyone thought that they were going to be in the main, so then they moved them to the side hustle, so now the contrarian play is going back to the main with them? That if that's the case, I hope so. I definitely hope so. I did go shopping over the weekend because I wanted to complete a few different things. I scooped up Los Angeles running back. They were looking pretty cheap in the market to me. I needed some more running backs because I do have Panthers RBs, and that's been kind of so-so. I had Tennessee RB. That now took a hit. Colts RB is by far my best card, so I wanted to load up on some inventory there, so I added that. What else did I add? Oh, and I bought Bengals wide receiver. I wanted another kind of... I have my stacks down here, but I needed kind of a one-off wide receiver crew that I had upside, and they were also pretty cheap there. So I did a little shopping in here. I also bought Steelers defense because my defensive cards weren't that good for this week. I bought Steelers and Patriots because otherwise Dolphins D was my best defense, which didn't seem ideal. Needed to give myself access to a little bit higher of a ceiling. Dusty Lowball, Island of Misfit cards. I do have an extra Raiders tight end, so throwing that in there. Didn't get to use my Philadelphia tight end, so using that there. And yeah, so that is the deal with that. Definitely enjoying Owners Club. We've been discussing strategy in the Discord. I actually started making a spreadsheet where I'm looking at the actual cumulative projections. So I've been trying to kind of hack together my own little optimizer for this. And then I believe that what I really want to do is have a way to pull in pricing and then compare pricing to projection and then really get a best value here for these cards, which I think would be fun. So if you have questions about the Owners Club, feel free to hit me up. Has the slate been flipped on its head yet? Has it been flipped? I saw a tweet that says the slate has been flipped on its head, but I don't know if we're just referencing the old news. Oh no, I just check in on the chat and they are back. The Joe Holka Brigade is rolling through. Joe. What is up, Joe Holka? What is up, crew? Thank you for joining us here on this fine Sunday morning. Should we do an underdog draft or do we want to talk more? GPP strategy? We can do all of that. I do love doing my little underdog Royal Rumbles though on Sunday mornings. Let's hop in one of those, see what we can do. I should mention, if you guys for Run the Sims, if you guys want to be running these Sims throughout the week on your own, if you want to be running them on the Showdown slates where they're incredibly valuable, you can use promo code Pete, 10% off. Also get you access to the Run the Sims channel in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Got lots of good stuff in there. Drico has been posting some really cool leverage charts in there. I like to post the leverage scores for the Showdown slate. So if you're looking to Galaxy Brain these GPPs with us, we'd love to have you in the Run the Sims channel in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Let's hop in a Royal Rumble though. Have not looked at one of these yet this week. This is my first Royal Rumble, so I am flying blind. You got Kamara, Eckler, Cook up top. Hill, Diggs up top there. Tight end is more flat this week. We've had previous weeks where, Pitts was head and shoulders the best option. I feel like Kelsey, Waller, and even Andrews is fairly flat this week at tight end. Let's see. Yes, I do. Well, I saw this is what happens. I have my eye on my tweet deck because I'm also trying to make sure I don't miss anything. And so then I'll look over and I'll see someone say, the slate's been flipped on its head, but they're just referring to news that we already got, 8 minutes ago. We've moved on. We're 27 minutes away from the next potential slate getting flipped on its head. Who do we have in here? I see Corey got the 101. I don't know. We got Aggies here, and I got the 103. What am I going to do with the 103? What am I going to do with the 103? I'm probably going to go Hill or Diggs. Here. Nice to get my Tyreek Hill exposure unless Corey does it. I could see Corey loves his Mahomes double stacks. Go ahead. I knew you were going to do it. I was going to say this is going to be my one chance to get Tyreek Hill because I don't think I'm going to play him in DFS today. I think my Mahomes double stack is going to involve Travis Kelce and Mecole Hardman. I'm sorry, premium double stack bros. Let's do Diggs. Yes, Daniel Everhart. I almost posted a screenshot of that. That's Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I get her newsletter. I've occasionally listened to her podcast. I saw that about the SADA legit scientific studies of helping with depression. Look, when I'm having a bad week, I'm having a bad day, and I need to reset, I can anecdotally confirm that the sauna is a very rejuvenating experience. I don't know how we got to this spot where like the sauna has become a big part of my brand, but I'll allow it. I mean, of all the things, to tether yourself to, I'm happy to tie myself to the sauna. Can I get a sauna sponsorship? Just none of that infrared bullshit. No, I need the old school. Have I been controlling the toxicity? Yeah, the toxicity levels are pretty low. Feeling pretty good about that. Let's see here. I'm back on the clock. Let's go with Dalvin. Win sauna stream. It may, so the Twitch streamers who do the hot tub streams, is that gonna, I just don't know how the equipment will hold up in the sauna. Maybe we need like a little looking glass going through there, a sauna stream. I mean, I've heard worse ideas, that's for sure. Oh, wow. Oh, here we go. Rob B, I just want to point out the beauty of this chat. Rob B, within a minute, can go from asking, why is nobody playing Aaron Jones, to trying to FUD saunas on me? Yeah, go ahead. Take a hot bath. How long until your shitty hot bath turns lukewarm, bud? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, what am I going to do here? We got Dalvin. Let's go. What's over on tight end right now? Yeah, let's do Waller. I like to jacuzzi when I am depressed. That sounds fine. I'm not anti-jacuzzi. Viking stacks or Chiefs? I prefer Chiefs stacks if I'm using the quarterbacks. I don't really want to use Cousins. I would rather do, like, even if you wanted to do something like play Justin Jefferson, Conklin, and Marquise Brown, or you wanted to play Justin Jefferson, Andrews, and Bateman, I'd rather than use a quarterback that has some rushing upside, use a Jalen Hurts, use a Tyrod Taylor, and kind of game stack the game without the quarterback. I just don't really want to use Kirk Cousins. I just feel like there's better ceiling options, and you can get access to a lot of the production without using Kirk. I like the Chiefs stacks though. I really like that Mahomes, Kelsey, Hardman. I think it's going to be fairly sneaky. Normally that's a pretty popular stack, but everyone's feeling burned by the Chiefs. Everyone's going to be playing one-off Tyreek Hills. It's a good week for leverage stacks for sure. Minnesota, Baltimore. I'll probably, yeah, let's play a little mini stack here with Baltimore. Actually, how am I looking on quarterback? We might just get really off the board here. Let's get, do we want to do a Herbert, Mike Williams? I think we could do that. Yeah, let's try to set up the Herbert, Mike Williams. Good morning to you as well, Eric. Good morning. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I mean, Hill is going to be super popular. I just like other options at running back more than Aaron Jones. I get it. I truly get it. On the surface, Aaron Jones scans as a good GPP play, but I think there's just a lot more downside risk with that offense with Jordan Love than there normally is. Like normally you're getting him at this same price and low ownership, but it's with Rodgers. And so you're not even getting any bit of a price discount on it. I don't know. Is Bateman's groin okay? From what I can tell, it is. I haven't, been able to take a look myself, but it sounds like it's okay. Let's see here. Do I want to play? How many people still need quarterbacks? Because I kind of want to get Marquise Brown with my little mini stack here. Let's do that and let's gamble on quarterback. This is one I'm paying attention to. They said Watkins was a game time decision, but it sounded like he was on the right side of questionable. If Watkins is out, I think Bateman looks really nice at his price tag. If he's in, then it's too gross. I think the paths to Bateman hitting with Watkins back is pretty thin. Now we're talking. I don't even really understand what man coverage means, but boy, do I like the numbers I see when I look at Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson's an awesome play. I love those minis. Like I can't get enough of all those various minis. Justin Jefferson with Mark Andrews, Justin Jefferson with Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews with Dalvin Cook, Mark Andrews with, I think I already said that combination. You get the gist. I love the Vikings minis. I do think, though, like up on the higher end, I don't think I'm going to play Lamar. I think if I am paying up for quarterback, I'm just going to roll the Josh Allen doubles and then play that Vikings game through the secondary correlations. Here I was fudding Justin Herbert stacks earlier, and then lo and behold, this is now what I have on Underdog. I haven't had a chance to look at the Pick'em card yet this week. Should we pick out a Pick'em card? You and Leone love Justin Jefferson. Don't lump me into Leone with this. I want to be my own person. Why can't I like Justin Jefferson by myself? Also, there's been a lot of slander on the. I was listening to the Establish the Show, the Friday night rundown with Levitan, Wiggins, and Silva. Silva said he was listening to me on the Take Cast, and I said I was off of Mahomes doubles. First of all, Silva, thank you for listening to podcasts where I'm the guest on. Also, I don't think I ever said that. I also don't share that sentiment because I'm fucking playing a Mahomes double this week, Silva. So don't try to paint me as an anti-Mahomes double guy on Establish the Show. What is going on? I do not hate Chiefs doubles. I am playing a Chiefs double. And I'm doing it just so I can win a tournament and at Silva with the screenshot, spreading FUD about me and Chiefs doubles. Yeah, James, this is one of the hardest things to try to figure out on this slate for me because I do like Chubb and I'm worried it's one of those plays that I fell in love with too early in the week. And then we flip the cards over and Chubb is 25% in the double spy. And I say, Peter, you knew there was steam. You knew that was going to happen. And yet you still played it. I think you're right, James. We gotta get him out of our lineups. I don't know. I need to check updated ownership, but I do think it's a good reminder. You know what? Yeah, Silva and I, we've been going at it ever since he came on the randomizer, a show with just a beautiful premise that he just couldn't even be bothered to play along with. Yes, I love Zach Moss. Zach Moss and Edmonds. Zach Moss, Edmonds, and maybe this is what we do. Maybe we pivot our Nick Chubbs to Carlos Hydes. Go from like one of the best pure. That's how sick DFS is in fantasy. Literally going from like the best pure rusher in the NFL to probably one of the shittiest starting rushers in the NFL. And the math will back it up. You love to see it. Oh man. So I will say the people who do this, the start sit and then second guess, you're right. It's always people I know or that are friends and they'll message me. They'll be like, hey, what do you think? And I'll say it. And then they start to argue with you. I'm like, dude, like, it sounds like you've made up your mind. I will say I do the Fantasy Life Q&A in the Fantasy Life app on Thursdays and Sundays. And that never happens. Like the people in there that ask the questions, they genuinely are like, thanks, Pete. Like, which I was pleasantly surprised by. I thought I was going to get like more pushback or people trying to have, arguments. But for the most part, all of those guys who ask questions in there seem to sincerely want my opinion and don't feel like arguing it. But man, if I get a text from a friend asking me a start sit question, I'm like, I should probably not even reply to this because I know I'm about to battle with you over your start sit question. Let's see. Oh no, is this just the snake eating its tail? Leone said, I put him on the hide call. Oh God. Well, this is what happens is we talk in our chat for our tilt space lineups. And then we just regurgitate each other's takes on our shows. We should just merge Wake and Rake with this. Let's see. We're gonna try to find a pick'em we liked. We're just flying blind here, trying to find a pick'em. I do really want to bet Zach Moss overs. I'm just gonna put it in the cart. Doesn't mean I have to check out. Okay. All right. I'm just putting it in the cart. Everybody relax. Trevor Lawrence, Visca. God, I should probably just bet unders against Visca. What sick world do we live in where Dan Arnold has a higher receiving prop than Visca? This is so sad. And I still keep his little signed mini helmet on my desk as a reminder of what could have been. Let's see here. Anything else? What jumps out? Tajay Sharp, 31.5 receiving yards. Ooh. Mark Ingram, 30.5 rushing yards. Man, there's some fun ones in here. Yeah. I mean, what a sweat. Jawan Johnson, 6.5 receiving yards. Just sweat. Put your net worth on that and just watch the entire game waiting to see if Jawan Johnson gets one catch. Not financial advice. Please do your own research. There you go, Zay Jones truther. There you go. 29.5 receiving yards for Zay Jones. Kind of want to throw that one in the cart as the under. That feels like an under to me. That feels like people just mapping him into the Henry Ruggs role 1-for-1. Yeah. Anything else jumping out here? People say I love Justin Jefferson. Maybe throw that in the cart. Throw it in the cart. See how much it costs. Geez, Nick Chubb, 91.5 rushing yards here. Is this good TV? Just me browsing and saying while looking at these? I hope so. I really hope so. All of these Bengals guys have big props here. Jamar Chase, 79.5 receiving yards. Ooh, let's do some Denver stuff. Man, those are big numbers for Judy and Sutton there. I can't believe we can't get an Albert O prop. Where's our Albert O prop, underdog? CD 71.5. I like that. Ooh, I love Schultz so much this week. I legitimately feel like the Schultz stuff is going a little underlooked this week, just with Jarwin being on IR. And this is why I like this week so much. All right, we are seeing breaking news. James Robinson is officially out. I think it's time to Galbrain some Carlos Hyde, guys. I really do think it's time to Galbrain it. But my thought on Dalton Schultz is a lot of things going in his direction. We like this game environment. The Cowboys have a big implied team total. We have Mega Chalk and Amari Cooper and Zeke Elliott. We have Jarwin out, and they had been playing in like a 60-40, even 70-30 type split. So that those snaps freeing up is meaningful. You had CeeDee Lamb, who had been banged up for most of the week. He's going to play, and I think he's going to be fine. But still, there are so many things pointing to Dalton Schultz being a good play. I almost made him my cover boy. And I thought, I think Justin Jefferson will get more clicks than Dalton Schultz. But I love Dalton Schultz. I think Dalton Schultz is a really good play. And I'm putting him in my cart. Let's see here. Nico Collins, 32.5 receiving yards. That seems rich. It doesn't look like these lines here for the Dolphins don't seem like they've been adjusted since the Tua news. Maybe they have, but I feel like these would have been pretty similar even with Tua in. So that's kind of interesting. Man, that's a pretty big number up on Eckler there. I don't mind the over in that Mike Williams 59.5 seems good. God, I'm throwing Boston Scott under in the cart. I mean, that seems absurd. I mean, is Boston Scott really getting 47.5 yards rushing? I mean, please. Devontae Adams, 79.5 receiving yards. What do we got here with the Chiefs? What do we got here? Tyreek, 82.5. That doesn't actually seem too bad. Kelsey, 76.5. I mean, this is kind of like you look at these receiving props. I mean, we're really close here. And yet the ownership disparity for these two in DFS is going to be much, much larger than this line would suggest. Goodness, I love Kirk and Rondell, but those are big numbers. Christian Kirk, 60.5. I get it. I think I'm going to get my exposure in DFS and not underdog on these guys. You know what? Here's one. I kind of want to bet the under. Oh, I have to remove. I can't even add anything else to my clip. I kind of like this Elijah Mitchell under 70.5. It does seem like it's going to be a split with Jeff Wilson. Kind of like the Debo under as well. Sounds like his calf is in rough shape. And now we hit the NBA plays. Let's see if I should get any. Man, these are fun. I'm gonna take out that one. Let's get in. Let's get it. I never do these mega parlays, but now this seems fun after we pick these all out on the stream. I'm not touting this mega parlay. I'm just going to do it because I want to have fun. Okay. Is that fine? I'm going to bet the Debo under 5-leg parlay. What I'm going to go do after this is mix and match these. No, let's live a little bit. 20 to win 400. I'm going to mix and match these after the show and play these as just 2 hitters. But if you want to tail me on my mega parlay for all the monies, there you go. Also, if you haven't signed up for Underdog, you now can get $100 deposit bonus with promo code Pete. If it's your first deposit, you put 100 on promo code Pete. They give you $100 in your account and you're off to the races. All right, guys. I'm going to shut this down so I can go and finish the newsletter, watch as inactives roll in. I do think it's a great week to be ready for late swap stuff. Make sure you have your kind of secondary options set up for that 4 p.m. stuff, because I think there's going to be a ton of opportunity in that 49ers and Cardinals game. And with all the injuries, I think it can really condense around a few guys. And because there's so much uncertainty on it, I don't think any of it's going to get steamed too hard other than maybe Rondell. I think he'll be fairly popular because people kind of like him regardless of what happens. But yeah, keep an eye on that game. Be ready to late swap. I will be back later tonight with the Tilt Space at 6 p.m. Eastern. That will be fun. Holka, Leone, and myself, we're going to build our lineups here in a bit. And then we're also doing a late night splash play tonight. We did it last week as well. Spags and I have been busy for our Monday show, so we'll be doing that. So good luck with your lineups, guys. If you have questions or want to come shoot the shit in the Run the Sims channel in the Discord, you can come and join us there either by becoming a YouTube member, Hand Builders and Opto Bros, or by becoming a Run the Sims subscriber. All right, that's it for me, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Be careful. Make sure you have a helmet on when the slate gets flipped on its head.